Hello friends, welcome back to A Dog's Life in Liechtenstein. This video sees us traveling from Liechtenstein to Vienna, Austria. The most direct route takes us through the corner of Austria, into Germany, and then back into Austria. Germany is famous for having sections of its autobahn with an open speed limit. The highway is so smooth that even 170 kilometers an hour or 105 miles an hour feels like nothing, and sometimes other cars passed us almost as if we were standing still. But why were we traveling to Vienna? Perhaps some context is in order. The majority of people in Europe rent their homes, as we do in Liechtenstein. But while living overseas for many years, my husband and I decided to buy a tiny apartment in Vienna as a base in his country. It's our little place in the world, in a city that we love, that we can call ours. Due to lockdowns and travel restrictions, it's been almost 1.5 years since we've seen the apartment. Much longer than Arthur's even been alive, so we were really eager to see it for ourselves again and introduce it to Arthur. Well, we finally arrived. While my husband parked the car, I brought in some luggage and opened up the apartment. I was eager to see how our tree and plants had fared on the terrace. But when I got my first look at the terrace, I couldn't believe that all I could see was green. Things hadn't just grown, they'd exploded. The apartment looked exactly the way it had when we left it the last time. It was on the terrace that so much had changed. 18 months ago, there was almost no green on the back wall. And sure, it looked like I'd lost a couple of my large rosemary bushes. But everything else had grown so much, including the tree, which was just a baby when I last saw it. And down in the inner courtyard, the plants that we had planted 18 months ago had grown up the entire wall. Then I heard my husband arriving, and I wanted to be there when Arthur came in. Of course, my husband went straight out onto the terrace and got the same surprise that I got. He couldn't believe how much everything had grown. I guess the fertilizer he put into the plants just before we left last time really worked. And of course, Arthur had to run around and explore every corner. Well, the next few days included quite a bit of work to get everything back into shape. Lots of clipping and cleaning and sweeping, and of course, Arthur was right there to supervise that everything was done properly. last, when things were picobello both inside and outside the apartment, we could take a bit of time to relax and actually enjoy the terrace. Relaxation only lasted until Arthur noticed pigeons visited the terrace and wanted to chase them. We were worried that in his excitement he would go between the fence rails and fall. So it was back to work to buy and install a mesh to block the gaps. Yet another job was to install a bike-carrying basket on my bicycle so Arthur could zoom around the city with us. Vienna is a very bike-friendly place, but Arthur didn't like waiting, and he didn't really like the basket either. Despite Arthur's protests at being in the basket, we did make it a few minutes down from our apartment to one of the nicest doggy parks in Vienna, right between the Imperial Palace, the Parliament buildings, and the museum's quartier. It's a lovely area to walk around in. I think Arthur suits the royal surroundings. One of the joys of being able to get back to Vienna was catching up with friends we hadn't seen in a very long time. Fortunately, our visit coincided with a nice stretch of weather, perfect for a summer's barbecue out on the terrace. Arthur was ever hopeful that perhaps just one small piece might fall off the table near him. After dinner, some of us took Arthur out for his evening walk. Clearly, Arthur had made a new friend. It was nice to see we weren't the only ones out and about and enjoying the summer evening. Arthur is always so interested in what's going on around him, and there's plenty to see in a city. On the way back to the apartment, we noticed a new little cafe had opened, and we stopped to chat to the young entrepreneurs about their concept. They wanted to cater to all the students in the area by selling reasonably priced salads, sandwiches, and soups, a small but ever-changing selection of each. They were all charmed by friendly little Arthur. Then they plied us with sample sandwiches, and we wished them good luck and their café, the La Petite Pause. Once he gets used to it, the bike basket will be okay for very short trips around town. But for longer excursions, my husband had purchased a small dog trailer. It's amazing what you can find in online second-hand forums for very little cost. We wanted to give it a try by biking through the city down to the Danube River for a swim. At first, Arthur loved it, but then he kept trying to jump out. For safety, he was clipped in, of course, but after he attempted to jump out several times, we had to zip him into the carrier, and he wasn't amused. He'll get used to it with practice. A dog in a bike carrier must be such an unusual sight for this tourist that he even took a photo. Notice here on the left, another one of the many dog parks in the city. It's quite a long bike ride, but finally we cross the Danube River and then go down onto what's an island between the Danube River and the Danube Canal. There are some really nice picnic, barbecue and swimming places on the canal side. One afternoon, another good friend of ours picked us up to take us to another area of the city where there is a massive park that also contains a free play zone for dogs. He takes his dog Bobo there at least once a week for doggy socializing and off-the-lead runs. I was really impressed by this dog park. It's an amazing facility for dog owners, provided and maintained by the city of Vienna. We traveled there by car, but it's also very easily accessed by trams and buses. Owners can and do let their dogs freely roam and socialize to their heart's content. Arthur was in his element and enjoyed every moment. When I said this dog park was massive, I meant it's really massive. We were there for over an hour walking, and we only saw a small part of it. Another feature of this amazing park is wherever it goes near or touches on a road, there is really good security fence, completely dog-proof. Later that evening, when I was trying to catch up on a little bit of work, I heard snoring from behind me. To turn around and find that Arthur had sneaked up onto the bed, made himself very comfortable, and had dropped into a completely exhausted sleep. So let's just leave him snoozing, and I'll say thank you for joining us on our little adventure in Vienna, and please like if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment and come back next time.